Hi everyone, good evening. Are you all able to hear me? Are you all able to hear me, everyone? Okay, if anyone can reply, you all are able to hear me. We can start with the session. Okay, great. So, welcome to our today's infused oils and glyceride workshop that we have here today. So for those who have joined in for the first time, who are new, welcome to my session. And today we will be making infused oil. We are going to be making a chamomile infused oil, and we are going to be making a hibiscus glyceride. Now I will just go ahead and give you all a little bit of explanation about what are these infused oils. Hi everyone. For all those who have messaged, hi to everyone. So we've just started our session. You have not missed out on anything. We've just begun. Starting with infused oils, what are these infused oils exactly? When we make skincare products, okay, we make a lot of beauty skincare products just to enhance our products more instead of using plain oils. You know, there are a lot of oils that go in when we make natural skincare products. So to enhance our products even more, to make them even more beneficial for the skin, we generally use infused oils instead of using plain oils. Okay, like instead of using plain almond oil or plain olive oil in our formulations, we generally go ahead and use oils which are infused. So, how do we do that? How do we infuse these oils? Another thing is glycerides. What are glycerides? When we make a formulation, when we make any skincare products, glycerin again is a very, very important ingredient that we use in making our skincare products because glycerin is a humectant. It gives a lot of moisturization on your skin when it is added to your formulation, and that is something that is in most of the products that we make. So to enhance that, instead of just adding plain glycerin to your formulation, if you want to enhance that, if you want to add, infuse your glycerin with certain other herbs or fresh fruits, you need that is what is called a glyceride. When you infuse your glycerin with these types of herbs. So today we are going to be making one infused oil, that is going to be the chamomile infused oil. Chamomile is flowers like these. I will just show you all. For those who don't know what is chamomile, these are very relaxing flowers. This is something which is used even for a therapy, a relaxing therapy. That is when we use chamomile, lavender. These are the herbs that we use for relaxing the mind, calming the mind. So these are, flowers, herbs of chamomile. These are dried herbs. It is always safer to infuse your oils with dry herbs because if you're using anything fresh, you need to preserve it. You need to use a preservative. If you're using dry herbs, you don't have to worry about your oils or your glycerides catching any molds, fungus, or any of those things. It will be very well preserved if you're using dried herbs. So we are going to be making a infused oil with chamomile, and I will be showing you all how we are going to be doing that. And for our glycerides, okay, for the glyceride that we are going to be making, we are going to be making hibiscus glyceride. So that is going to be with the dried hibiscus leaves. I will also tell you all, if you all want to make it with fresh hibiscus leaves, like any glyceride, if you all want to make it with fresh ingredients, how you need to do it, I will also explain to you all about that. If you all have any questions, you all can write it down in the chat box. When I take the questions, I will answer them. Okay. Alright, so we'll start with the making of the of the infused oil here. Now, first of all, whenever you are making, any infused oil or any glyceride, the first very important thing is you need glass containers. You cannot infuse your oils in plastic or acrylic, any of those containers. First of all, that is a wrong method of infusing your oils. You have to infuse them in glass containers only, so that you get the best result. They stay fresh for a longer period of time. So if at all you're making in bulk, if you're making in very big containers, you want to make for selling purpose, then I would suggest acrylic, but no but no plastic at all. You will not be using plastic containers for infusing your oils or for making glycerides. So now we'll start with the making. We'll start with the making of the chamomile oil first. Chamomile infused oil. In the same way, in the same method that I am going to do the infusion in with the chamomile herbs, the same method you all can use, and you all can infuse rose petals, you all can infuse this hibiscus, you all can infuse lavender buds, whichever dried herbs you all want to infuse, you all can go ahead and infuse it and make that infused oil. If you want to make a combination of floral infused oil, you can add 3 to 4 different floral herbs together, and you all can infuse it in the oil. Now, another very important thing when you are infusing oils, you all can write this down, because I'm just going to give you all the measurements, so you all know exactly how much of what you all need to add in this when you all are making it. So when you all are selecting the oil, okay, when you are selecting the oil for infusion, it is very important that you all understand which oil you all are selecting. It shouldn't be an oil which contains a lot of fatty acids. You cannot select oil like like coconut oil, like palm oil, which has too much of unsaturated fats. You can select oils for infusion like olive oil. You can select oil like almond oil, sunflower oil, rice bran oil. These are the oils that you need to select. Yes, container needs to be sterilized. Very important. When you are making skincare products, you make infused oils, you make skincare products, sterilization is very important to keep your ingredients fresh, to keep them from getting rancid, from molds, bacteria developing. You need to sterilize your containers. You need to spray it with 99% rubbing alcohol, wipe them nicely, dry them well, and then use it. So that is a very important thing, to keep your products fresh for a longer time. Now, coming to the oils, we are going to be using oils like almond oil, olive oil, rice bran oil, sunflower oil. Sunflower oil and rice bran oil are a little cheaper versions if you do not want to invest in more expensive oils like olive oil and almond oil. So you can use the other two, because they are not very fatty. They don't have the unsaturated fats in a large amount. That is very good for infusions. So selection of the oil is very important when you are making an infused oil. Now, for our infused oil, I'm going to be using olive oil. I'm going to be using the pomace olive oil. You can use any type of olive oil that you have available, that is fine. The measurements here is, for every 100 grams oil that you take, whichever oil you're using out of these four, for every 100 grams oil that you take, you will add 5 grams of herbs. Okay, 5 grams of herbs will be added for every 100-gram batch, for every 100-gram oil that you use. That's going to be the quantity. For glycerides, when I'm making the glyceride, I will give you all the details for that. So now we will quickly go ahead and I'll show you how we are going to make this. As I said, first of all, it has to be a glass container. Specifically go for glass containers, unless if you're making in bulk and you do not have such a big glass container, you can go for acrylic. Otherwise, glass containers are very good for infusing the oils. What you are going to do, how you are going to do, after we do the infusion, I will show you. And the other thing is, it has to have a very tight covering, like there shouldn't be any air, there shouldn't be any gaps where air can enter in this, because that is where there is a chance of bacteria and mold growing in, or your product not staying stable. You have to have an airtight lid to your container, so that no air is going inside this. Just a minute. Okay, so now I'm going to be measuring out the oil here. As I said, I'm using olive oil for this formulation. So I am going to go ahead and measure out 100 grams of my olive oil. And the container that you are using, okay, so this is exact 100 grams that we have. Okay, so now for the container that you're using, always make sure that the oil is not up to the brim. Okay, you're not keeping your oil up to the brim, because when you add the dried herbs into the oil, as it gets infused, as it's infusing, they start to expand, because it's all the oil is soaking in the herbs. So there is a little expansion that happens with these herbs, and it needs space for that. So whenever you're using any container, please make sure that you have a little bit of gap on top, so that even after the infusion happens, it's not coming up. It's not that it doesn't have place for that infusion to happen. So make sure it's not full up to the brim. And then in this, we are going to be adding 5 grams of our herbs. How you are going to do the storage and everything, I will be explaining that to you all. Okay. Alright. So here we have our 5 grams of herbs, what I have gone ahead and added in this. Now, if at all you're making, this is again a very important thing. If you're making a very small batch, like now I have only made a 100-gram batch of the infusion. So I know that I'm going to finish this batch within a month. So if I am finishing this batch within even 3 months, I do not have to use an antioxidant for this. Alright, this is very important. But if you are making a big batch, if you are making a large batch, you have to take fresh or dried. Okay, I will explain to you all about the spice herbs also. So if at all you are making a large batch and you know that this is not going to finish for the next 6 months, you're making a batch for about say up to a year, then adding an antioxidant is very important. And the antioxidant that we are going to be adding is vitamin E. That is something which we have to add. For every 100 grams, you will go ahead and add 0.5 grams of vitamin E. If you have, if you don't have the liquid, and if you have the green color capsules of vitamin E, for every 100 grams you can add 1 capsule of the vitamin E. And then you can store your oil for the next 2 years. You will not have any problem with the oil. It will not get rancid. You will not have any smell coming out of your oil or anything like that. It will be all fresh. But if you're just going to be using it within a month or two, you do not need an antioxidant. You can just keep it as it is. Once you add the herbs, just give it a good shake. Just shake the bottle well so that it gets evenly dispersed in the oil. Alright, just shake it well. And now you have to, it has to be an airtight container. As I said, you cannot have a container which is loose fitting and where you know air is going to enter in. You cannot be having a container like that. Your product will not stay fresh. That is where the rancidity happens. When there's too much of moisture getting into your oil, if the lid is not tight, if it's not an airtight container, is when the maximum spoilage happens. Otherwise, oils in itself, they do not get spoiled so fast. Now, after closing this container, what you need to do is, you need to keep this in a cool and dry place where there is no sunlight. Like you can keep it in your kitchen cupboard. And if it stores, yes. Vitamin E, even if you store your product for next 2 years, it is an antioxidant. It doesn't allow your product to oxidize, even if it comes in contact with light. It protects your oils from getting rancid, from that oil smell. After some time, eventually oil starts getting rancid and it starts giving that very different smell, the oil smell, which is not the fresh oil smell. So vitamin E will help with that to preserve your product. So as I was talking about the storage, you have to keep this in your, if you have any kitchen cabinet where there is no direct sunlight entering, you can just keep it, place it there inside for the next 2 weeks, that is 14 days. Minimum time for cold infusions. This is a cold process method of infusion. I will also give you all some details about the other method of infusion, which you all can try out if you do not have 14 days or if you want the infusion very quick. So otherwise, 14 days is the minimum time period that you need to keep these oils infused. You have to keep it in your kitchen cabinet. No sunlight has to enter. It has to be in a cool place, in a dark place specifically. And after 14 days, when you open the container, you will actually get the fragrance of whatever you have infused. Now, I have infused dried chamomile buds. After 14 days, when I open this, I will get the fragrance of the chamomile herb itself. More than the oil, I will get the fragrance of the chamomile herb. So then you get to know that the infusion has happened. The buds have completely got infused in the oil. Now, if you have longer time, if you don't want to use the entire product in 14 days, and if you're using your product, just use how much you need. Strain the product. Like if you, if at all you just have to use 10 grams from this 100 gram batch. So just strain the 10 grams, how much ever you need. Use that much for whatever skincare products you're making, and the remaining, keep it as it is infused in your cupboard again. Okay, you can store it in the infused state itself. The more it is infused in the oils, the better the productivity you will get. So the next time when you're using this product, it will be more enhanced with the herbs. So longer the time you keep the herbs, you can keep the herbs even for a year. If the dried herbs are there in the oil, it's not going to spoil in any way. It's only going to enhance the oil much more. Now this is only for dried herbs. I am not talking about fresh ones. It's only and only for dried herbs. For spices, now what type of spices, if you all can specify, are you all actually looking for? Someone asked me for spices. Is it like cinnamon, if you want to make cinnamon oil or clove oil, you have to follow the same method. You have to take the dried cinnamon pieces, you have to add it in your oil, you have to take the dried clove pieces, 5 grams for every 100 grams. Now, if you want to make stronger, oils, infused oils for spices, generally for these floral herbs, we don't need it so strong. But for for infused oils that we make with spices, we need it a little more strong. Yes, turmeric, then you have clove, then you have cinnamon. Now these spices you can go up to 8 grams, 8 to maximum 10 grams per 100 gram of oil. Now this is only specific for your spices, not for the floral. If you're making hibiscus, if you're making rose, if you're making chamomile, calendula, all these will be 5 grams per 100 gram oil. If you want to infuse spices, we need a little more to give it that, the fragrance of that spice has to be more stronger. So if you're adding turmeric, alright, if you're adding the full turmeric, the dried full turmeric, it has to be 8 to 10 grams, 10 grams being maximum, 8 grams being minimum. You have to add that in your 100 grams oil and keep it for infusion. Now, for people who do not have the full herbs, like I have this chamomile full flowers, I have hibiscus full flowers. Now for people who have powders, this is a very, very regularly asked question where people are confused if they do not have the full herbs and they have in the powdered form, how do they need to use it? Now for that you need to take a cheesecloth. No need for powders. No. So for those who have turmeric powder and they want to infuse turmeric powder in the oil, so you all can understand how this needs to be done. You need to take a cheesecloth, okay, a tea bag, a cheesecloth of a tea bag size. You need to add 8 grams of your turmeric powder in the cheesecloth. You need to close it, you need to tie the cheesecloth well, and you need to dip it in the oil. You need to dip it in the oil and close the container. After 14 days, you need to remove the cheesecloth. You need to press out all the oil that is infused with the turmeric, and that's about it. After that, you can leave the oil as it is. Whenever you want to, whatever turmeric comes out, the extract of that turmeric comes out from the cheesecloth will be infused in your oil. You don't need to keep that cheesecloth in that oil after 14 days. You just need to extract all the turmeric from that. It will all fall concentrated inside your oil. Leave that as it is. Whenever you want to use the turmeric oil, strain it, use it, and let that concentrated part of the turmeric be in the oil. As long as that is in the oil, it's only going to enhance the productivity of the oil. So that is how you infuse powders in the oil. This is, I spoke about turmeric. If you have any other type, you don't have dried full hibiscus, if you have if you have the hibiscus powder, this is the same way and the same method that you have to follow if you're using any type of powder. Peppers also you will follow the same method. If you have the dried herbs, if you have the dried chili pepper, put it directly in the oil. You do not need to use the cheesecloth. If you're using the dried pepper, you have to just put it in the oil and you have to infuse it. Now next is after 14 days you have to squeeze. If you're using any powders and you're using the cheesecloth method, that is when after 14 days you will squeeze it, you will remove all the oil from it and wash off your cheesecloth. If you're using the full herbs, you will leave the full herbs in the container till the time the oil is not finished. It is just going to keep on infusing the oil much better, making it more better, and it's going to be more beneficial for you. This is about our infused oils, the two different ways. One is with the powders. Many people, they are always confused when they have powders, they don't know how to infuse it. So this is how you have to infuse it with a powder. The other way is you have to just put the full herbs. If at all you are going to store it for a longer time, adding an antioxidant, that is vitamin E, is essential to keep your product good and fresh. For what purpose? When we make skincare products, okay, we use a lot of oils, different oils in our formulations. So this is where the need for this type of infused oil comes from. Because instead of using a plain oil, like instead of using plain almond oil or plain olive oil in our formulation, if we use infused oils, it enhances our product much more, much better. Again, another use for these infused oils, like now I'm making a chamomile infused oil. This, as I said, is very, very good. See, I won't recap anything. The video will be available. It's going to be available on my YouTube channel. For those who have missed out whatever I have explained, you all can go ahead and watch the video again. You all will get all the information there. Now, as I just spoke about the benefits of chamomile, that it is very relaxing. It relieves you from stress. So the other use of making such types of oils like lavender infused oil, chamomile infused oil, even if you are feeling very tired, or you're not in, your mood is not really good, or you want to feel stress free, you can just use a little bit of this oil. You can rub it on your palms, rub it on your feet. You can do a massage with this oil, and you will see the difference. You will see the calming effect that you get. Even if you use these oils for massage, for a regular massage, with the lavender and the chamomile one. So they even have such benefits where you can use this for your skin. If you have an itchy skin, if you have a flaky skin, chamomile is very good. You can just rub the chamomile infused oil wherever you have the itchy feeling, and you will see that it stops the itchiness on your skin. So these are all very natural ways of using these infused oils for yourself. You can use it for massages, you can use it for your skincare products, or you can use it for calming effect. Under sun, yes. I'm coming to that as well. Now, this is one method of infusing your oil. This is called the cold process method. This doesn't need any heating or anything like that to infuse your oil. Another method is the hot process method. Now, I don't recommend boiling or heating your oil in any way, because it starts losing its properties. It starts losing all the properties of the oil. It converts the properties of the oil into fats as you heat the oil. So I never recommend heating of the oil. So what is the other process? I will tell you all. Now, if you all are in a rush, if you have to make a project, if you have to make a formulation, and you don't have time, you don't have 14 days to wait for your oil to get infused and then use it. So if you want some quick way of infusing your oil, what you need to do? You need to follow the same method. 100 grams of oil with 5 grams of herbs, same quantity. And what you need to do now is, instead of keeping this in your cupboard in a cool and a dry place, you need to keep this in the sunlight. You need to keep this for at least about 4 hours in the sunlight, 4 to 5 hours in the sunlight, at least for about 3 to 4 days. 3 being the minimum, 4 being the maximum. 3 to 4 days, at least 4 to 5 hours of, when it's very, very sunny, that time you need to keep this in the sunlight. With the heat of the sun, the infusion happens even quicker. Okay, as the sunlight touches, it has to be in a transparent bottle. As the sunlight touches your container, the infusion happens with the rays of the sunlight. If you're following the heat process method, please do add your antioxidant as well in this. Don't forget to add the antioxidant because you are exposing this to light. So oxidization is something which is prone to happen when it is exposed to sunlight. So to protect that oxidization, you have to add your vitamin E. So if you're following the hot process method with sunlight, you have to add your vitamin E. At least for maximum 4 days, minimum 3 days, you have to give this good amount of sunlight of 4 to 5 hours, and after 4 days you can use the oil. It will be well infused. If you are in a rush, you don't have 14 days, within 3 to 4 days, in this method you can infuse your oils and you can use it. No opening the container in the 3 to 4 days. The container will not be open, it will be closed, it will be just kept in the sunlight. In the evening, you will remove it from there and you will keep it in the morning, again when there is sunlight, you will keep the container, but the sunlight has to touch the container. You have to really get that good amount of sunlight, so that with the help of that solar energy, with the help of that light, your infusion will happen faster. Generally with heating also infusions happen faster, but the thing is, if you don't know the right temperature of heating, and if you go beyond that temperature, it's 100 Fahrenheit. If you go beyond that temperature, you are losing all the properties of the oil. So that's the reason why I don't recommend, if you're first timers, if you've never infused oils before, I would never recommend you doing the heating method if you go wrong with the proper temperature. So do it keeping it out in the sunlight, or else you can infuse your oil. The best way, the easiest way to infuse it is the cold process method, to keep it in your cool dark place for the next 14 days, and then you will see how well the infusion happens. The longer you keep it to infuse, you will see that the herb color, whatever is the color of the herb, we don't need to open the lid. Yes, even in the cold process method, you do not need to open the lid. You do not need to open the lid in either process, either hot or cold. The lid has to be closed. Vitamin E will be put at this stage itself. Please go through the video again. आपको उसका मिल जाएगा आपको details. Vitamin E कब डालना है. So this is the way we make our infused oils, and you can make many types of infused oils using this method. I do not recommend using fresh products while making infused oils, because there are more chances for bacteria, molds to grow if you're using fresh ingredients. So always make your infused oils only with dried herbs. You can store them for up to 2 to 3 years if you're using your antioxidant in your oil, if you're storing your oil well, if it's an airtight container. I make oils and use it 2 to 3 years also, there is no problem. But all depends on how you store your product. So this is it about the infused oils. Now this will go in a cool dark place, and after 14 days is when I can use it. If I don't need to use it after 14 days, I will continue to keep it till the time I need to use it. We can put vitamin E oil, yes. Vitamin E oil will be 0.5 grams for per 100 gram formulation. Alright, okay. So this is it about our infused oils. Now next comes glyceride. Now what is glyceride? Infused oils are something that many people know about. But glycerides are something that people are not still very much aware. Glycerides is something which we make with glycerin, vegetable glycerin. Okay. The weighing scale I have picked from Amazon. You can check it on Amazon. You will get it. Um, I will check if I have the link. I will definitely send it in the group. Otherwise, you will get it on Amazon as well. Now, coming to glycerides. Glycerides is something which is made from glycerin. As I just told you all in the start of the workshop, glycerin is a very, very good humectant, something which gives very good moisturization to the skin, which keeps your skin well hydrated, moisturized, gives it that softness. So just imagine if you're making a formulation, you're using plain glycerin. If you get a chance to use it in a more better way, where you can infuse it with certain ingredients, enhance it much more, and then use it on your skin, it will give you much more benefits. Like now we know the benefits of hibiscus. Hibiscus is filled with vitamin C. It is very good for pigmentation. It is very good for to treat tanning of the skin, to give you a good complexion, to give you a glowing complexion. So these are glycerides which you can make at home and you can apply it on your skin. Even if you don't know how to make formulations, even if you don't know how to make skincare products, even if you make a normal glyceride, and during the winters skin is already very dry, even if you make a hibiscus glyceride and if you just rub it onto your skin twice a day, you will see the difference. Glycerides in 100. I have already told the measurement for the infused oil. You can just watch the video again. You'll get all the details. Alright. So even if you rub this glycerides on your skin twice a day, you will see the difference, the glow on your skin using this product. So you can make different types of glycerides. Glycerides are something which you can make with fresh fruits as well. I am making a hibiscus glyceride which is a dried herb, but you can go ahead and use fresh hibiscus flowers and you can make your glyceride. The only thing is, when you're using your fresh hibiscus flowers, you will add a preservative. Which preservative you will add? I will give you the details of that. What you need to add and how much you need to add. So now to make the glyceride, again, for the glyceride, we will be taking, for every 100 gram of glycerin, we will be taking 10 grams of herbs. Unlike the oil, where we have 10 grams of oil and 5 grams of herb, here we will be taking 10 grams of glycerin. And we will be taking, if we take 100 grams of glycerin, we will be using 10 grams of herbs. So now I am going to be adding my glycerin here. You need your vegetable glycerin for this. So I am using 50 grams glycerin. I am not making a 100 gram batch. I am using 50 grams of glycerin. This glycerin is something which you will get at any chemist. It's the same, it's nothing different. It's same which you get at the chemist. You can use that glycerin. And I will be adding my hibiscus dried herbs to this. I'm going to be adding 10 grams of dried hibiscus herbs. Okay. So this is my 10 grams of hibiscus. They are very lightweight, so 10 grams also looks a lot because it's very, very lightweight, all these herbs, once they are dried. So you need, if at all it doesn't have any moisture content in it. If you're using your fresh flowers, it will have moisture content, weight will be heavier. So you will need little bit. When they are dried, all the moisture is removed, so it gets lighter in weight. So now, same process, I will just give this a good shake. Now we don't have any cosmetic grade or anything for the glycerin. You will use the normal vegetable glycerin to make this. There is no special cosmetic grade. Okay, so here I have gone ahead and infused it. After some time, right now the petals are too big. After some time, they will automatically settle down in the glycerin once they soften. The leaves are very hard right now because they are dry. Once all the petals soften, they will all sink in down in the glycerin. So we just have to leave it as it is here, and this is how we make our glyceride. Now glyceride, what we need to do, very very important, the cover of our container has to be sealed. It means it should be difficult to open, it should be sealed in such a way. If you have a doubt, because glyceride is something which is very different from making an infused oil, if you feel that the cover, the lid is not proper, for 50 grams, 5 grams, yes, for 50 grams, 5 grams hibiscus will do, hibiscus leaves, I'm sorry, hibiscus flowers. So if you have a doubt about the lid, if you feel it is not fit, what you need to do is, you need to put a sling film here on top. Please have a look, this is my empty, this is my bottle here, I have not put the lid. I will first put a sling film on top, and then I will close the lid. This is if you are not 100% sure that your lid is your bottle is airtight, because you cannot take any chances with glyceride. You have to make sure it is airtight, because glyceride is a humectant. It draws moisture from the air. So if it has any gaps here, it will draw all the moisture from the air, it will pull it in, and moisture will produce in your product. And if there is moisture in your product, again there are chances of mold and bacteria to develop. So you have to be very careful when you're making a glyceride. If you're not confident, use a sling film and then cover your bottle. This doesn't have to be kept in sunlight at all. This has to be kept in your dark place in your cupboard. And the glyceride will be kept for 7 to 8 days. Maximum 8 days, nothing more than that. On the 8th day, you will remove it, you will open the lid, you will strain it, and you will remove the glycerin, which is already become a glyceride with the infusion of the hibiscus. You will nicely strain it, you will see that the color has changed. After 8 days, we have our glycerin, which is white color, which colorless, basically transparent. So after 8 days, when I strain this, it will have a light pink color. The glyceride generally takes the color of the herb. And then you will strain it nicely, you will strain it very well, you will press it and strain it so all the properties come in your glycerin. And that glyceride is something which you can store for up to a year without any problem. If you're making it with a dried herb, you do not even need to add any preservative. The reason being, glycerin, when you use it at a ratio of more than 25 grams, it acts as a preservative by itself. Maximum days for oil. Please go back to the video. We are already done with the infused oil and on the glyceride now. So you can go back to the video, you'll get all the information. So unlike, as I was saying, yeah, we were talking about the glyceride. So you need to nicely extract all the glyceride, keep it in the glass container airtight. If at all you're using dried herbs, you do not need any preservative to preserve the glyceride. Now coming to if you're using fresh fruits, Glycerides can be made with fresh fruits, like you can make a strawberry glyceride, a blueberry glyceride, apple glyceride, a cucumber glyceride. You can make any glyceride. What you need to do is, if you want to make a fruit glyceride, just cut the fruit, alright, and just make small pieces. It will be same proportion for your 50 grams of glycerin. You will add 5 grams of your whatever fruit you want to cut it into small pieces and add it, and you will close the bottle. You will keep it sealed. After 8 days, okay, when you remove it, nothing is going to happen for 8 days. Don't worry, you don't need to add any preservative that time. After 8 days, when you remove, open your bottle, when you strain everything and your glyceride is ready, like your apple glyceride or your cucumber glyceride, in that, for every 100 gram of glyceride, you will have to add 1 gram of a broad spectrum preservative. You can add AceGuard, no, yeah, you can use AceGuard PG, you can use phenoxyethanol. These are very broad spectrum preservatives. So you can use 1 gram for every 100 gram batch of your glyceride. That is if you're making it with fresh fruit. So add the preservative in that, close it and keep it for the next 1 year. You can use your product without any problem. You want to use it on your skin, you can use it on your skin. You want to add it to your skincare products, you can add it to your skincare products. So this is only going to enhance your products in a better way. Clear? This is how you need to make your glycerides. Glycerides has only one method. Glycerides are something which you cannot expose it to sunlight. You have to keep it in a cool, dark place, but the bottle has to be sealed very well. How much can we add? How much can we add for what? I didn't get your question. If you can just specify. So this is how you need to make your glyceride. Glyceride cannot be exposed to sunlight. It has to be kept in a cool and a dark place. And your infused oils, you have 2 different methods. You can either do it the hot process way or the cold process method. Formulations all are different. Every formulation has a different amount of glyceride that we add. So depending on what we are making, even in creams, every cream doesn't have the same amount of glyceride present. Can we do glycerides with powders? Yes. You can do glycerides with powders. Exactly the same method what I told you all about the infused oils is what you have to follow with the glycerides. You have to use a cheesecloth, you have to place it in it. After 8 days, 5 days being minimum, 8 days being maximum. You will not keep the glyceride more than 8 days for infusion. Tinted too for better infusion? No, not required, not really required. If you're using the cold process, you can use a tinted glass. There is no harm. If you're not sure that your the place where you have kept it is not going to be exposed to sunlight, if you're not confident about it, then use a tinted bottle to be more safer. But if you're confident where it is placed, there's no sunlight, then you can use normal as well. Hair scalp or arnica, you can use arnica. See, for hair scalp, as I said, you have to do a little more research. Which herbs are good? Like you have arnica, which is very good. You have neem, which is very good for boils on the scalp. There are a lot more antiseptic herbs that is very good for scalp treatment. So what you all can do is you all can go ahead, follow the same method of infusion, and you all can infuse arnica, you all can infuse neem, you all can infuse turmeric. These are all antiseptic. So, and it is very good for the scalp. Cinnamon is very good for scalp, for treating flaky scalp problem. Even if you have the eczema or any such problem, it helps to treat with that. So you can make it with cinnamon as well. You all will just have to do a little bit more research on which herbs are best for a flaky scalp, or if you have any, what do you say, any problem, porosis or something on the scalp. So just do a little bit research on that. And no, glycerides will not go on the scalp. For the scalp, you have to only use the infused oil. Glycerides are for the skin, not for the hair. Rita is also good, but it doesn't have that antibacterial properties that we need for treating porosis or any such problems on the scalp. So there are many other very good herbs. I'm not getting all the names right now, but even if you Google it out, you'll get a list of them. What you can do is, I can just give you a small tip. What you can do is, once you make this oil, okay, if you made a neem and a arnica oil, you can do multiple as well. It's very good. You can take about 5 to 6 herbs. You can take a combination of 5 to 6 herbs, and you can infuse it in your oil. It's a very good way of getting all the properties in one oil. There is no problem. What, as I was giving you all one tip about the hair thing, suppose you make an infused oil. Supposing I have made a arnica and a neem infused oil, okay, that is already giving me good properties. Once the oil is infused, you can add essential oils: peppermint essential oil, tea tree essential oil, cinnamon essential oil, a little bit of camphor essential oil. These are, I'm not telling you all to add all of these. Lemongrass essential oil, not all of these. You can take a blend of any two, and you can add it to the oil that you have made to enhance it even more, and then apply that on your scalp. The best out of these is tea tree and peppermint. So you can try to add the ginger. Ginger is excellent. Even if you add peppermint and ginger, excellent properties you will get for your hair if you are having this type of problem. So massage it well on your scalp. Use it thrice a week, or if the problem itchy scalp is even more, use it 4 times in a week maximum, and you will definitely see the difference. These don't give effect on day one. You have to use it religiously at least for 2 to 3 months to get best results. So if you're going to religiously use it, you all will see the difference. Alright, so this is it everyone. I have made both the glyceride and the infused oils, and I hope you all do try them out. Definitely try them out. Make different glycerides. Not required you have to make the same that I have made. This is just for reference. You can make any other glycerides of your choice, and do share it in the group. If mix herbs quantity, it's already shared, the quantity and everything. You can just go through the video, you'll get all the details, the exact measurements and everything. Alright, so please do make different types of glycerides, and share it in the group. All those of you who are in the group, please do share it, so even others get very much motivated when they see, someone else making it and using it. And these are very effective, not only for skincare formulations. You can use it on your own body yourself, and you can see the difference on your scalp, on your skin. Since it's winters, these are very good oils and glycerides for your skin. Alright, and anyone interested in joining any workshops that I'm having, I do paid workshops, I do free workshops. So anyone interested can definitely WhatsApp me. My number is given in the description box in all my videos. So you all can WhatsApp me there if you all are interested in joining any of my workshops. Alright. Thank you so much everyone for your time. I hope you all have a lovely day ahead. Thank you so much everyone. Bye.